Hey, it's D. It's a brand new episode coming right for you, right on the FTO network. Enjoy. All right, everybody, this is D of FTO Nerd Talk. This is FTO Podcast. Got a brand new episode. I am doing this from the comfort of my home. I guess that's the best way to put it. The luxury of my home. I'm at home while I'm doing this. And if the audio is a little bit different, that is exactly why. It's because I'm not using my Apple headphones, and like I'm not inside of a car with the AC running the entire time. But since I am at home, that does mean my kids may pop in. So that is the luxury and the curse of working from home, being me. But new episode. We just got an episode of Table Cheese to drop this week with myself and Anton Six. Make sure you check out Cheesy Controller podcast. Every time I do this, it's a new experience. A lot of things to talk about. This is probably going to drop on a Saturday. So if you're listening to this, I recorded it on Thursday. So all of the news that I have is from a little bit is from last week. A lot of it is from the beginning of the week. So, like, if something happened on Friday and Saturday, and I'm not talking about it right now, that is why. So, it's good to be outside of the car. It's good to be sitting in a chair instead of, like, my car seat. It's good, like, not to have to worry about cars driving past me. I feel a little bit more relaxed, to be honest with you, doing all this. So, I don't have much to talk about when it comes to myself. I've been pretty decent. I cut back the articles for this week. Not as extensive as it was before. But you still got like the same amount of comic books to read. You still got the same amount of shows and video games that you usually do. Just like the articles are slimmed down. So with that being said, let's just get right to it. Danny Huston joins Billy Skarsgård in The Crow. So FKA Twigs, Billy Skarsgård, they're doing a new adaptation. Now, I read the article for this from The Hollywood Reporter. It didn't say if it was a movie or a TV show. I'm assuming it's a movie. But I think it's finally needed. I think like with the Crow TV show not doing as well as many people wanted it to. With I forget the lead actor, Mark Dacascos, I think it was. I don't think they're doing another TV show for a while when it comes to The Crow. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes like to a television adaptation. But I don't think an adaptation television show. Do not think that's happening anytime soon. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know if it does happen. But I think it's a movie that's going to be coming out and having Billy Skarsgård attached to it. And that's interesting. Really interesting. Like how in today and age, unless they make it a period piece, like take place like in some time other than now. I'm not sure how The Crow is going to work out. And, like, honestly, I feel like The Crow should be a period piece and add, like, some monsters and vampires and whatnot inside of it. But, hey, that's me talking. That's me talking. Next up, Harley Quinn is renewed for Season 4 at HBO Max with, like, the tons and tons of cancellation that's going out there. And, like, with the season finale happening September 15th for Season 3 of Harley Quinn, we have just now been confirmed that Sarah Peters, who's the new showrunner, and also a writer, a part of the show, is now going to be like producing, show running, and like being like one of the creative minds behind the Harley Quinn show. So the show is going to have like a whole different look, whole different feel. By look, I mean it's going to have like a new creative team attached to it, and it's going to be like HBO Max, which is part of Warner Bros. Discovery, who's going to have like more of their fingers inside of all this. But it's getting renewed. I guess that's good news. But with like all the cancellations going on HBO Max right now, like is it really like the best option to have like things shaking up the way it is there? I don't know. I guess we gotta wait and see. I fell off of Harley Quinn this season. Like I feel like it didn't know what it was doing, and I think I need like to binge the episodes so I get like a full effect of what's happening this season. But it is coming back, Season 4. It gives me more reason to watch it. So I got my animation is pretty hard. Top 10 tier right now. I got Archer, Lower Decks, and I got the Harley Quinn show to watch. So, got a lot of stuff to keep myself occupied. I'm really happy about this. Next up, P-Valley Star. Ilerica Johnson confirms exit from the show. The actor said, like the actor was asked, like, was it a shock that they're leaving the show? And she replied, "Well, actually, I knew it was happening because it was my choice. It was something I discussed with Katori Hall." Johnson, looking at the script this season, she continues to say, "In the journeys of the characters and where the pink was going, Autumn's story felt like it was coming to an end. She has done what she needed to do, and it was time for her to move on." And you know what? Like, I couldn't agree more. Like, I watched the first two episodes of P Valley, and it felt like as good as it was to see her there, like it felt like she did all she needed to do in the first season. Like, it felt like she was just hanging around, you know. And like to see her move on, transition to the next step, I'm really happy for her. I hope like Johnson gets like like a boost in her career that she needs because like she's absolutely gorgeous. Her acting her acting fits the role for the character. I wouldn't mind seeing her having a more like a dynamic role in something else, so I can see like what her range is. But I feel like the role of Autumn wasn't a weak character, but didn't show us what kind of range Johnson can have. So I wouldn't mind seeing Johnson in like a more stronger role as opposed to Autumn. Next up, TV news. Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboots currently on pause. So the reboot is on pause right now. It had a black lead attached to it. A lot of fans were saying like it was going to be the same show, but with a black lead attached to it. And some are saying like this is probably why it's being paused because like the script wasn't as strong. It was literally like a carbon copy of like the original television show, just with a black lead. And I feel like if you're gonna put like a black lead into like the series of Buffy, you gotta put it has to have something dynamic. Like it's a black woman with the strength of a Slayer, and depending on where she is, depending on her upbringing, like depending on her family, and like her choices of how she wants like to slay vampires and other mythological creatures, I feel like that says a lot, and like it touches on a stronger commentary on like the massage noir than like we can probably put into words because like all like the villains, like the vampires, the demons, it could be like allegories for many other things, and like not only allegories for many other things, but like the actual thing that is happening in that world. So I feel like if they're gonna do this show with a black woman lead, you gotta stop saying female. Like they're not creatures, they're humans. Like I gotta start saying women. Like I don't say like black male lead. That's weird. But with a black woman lead, it has to be something depth. It has to be something like intuitive. It has to be something strong. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. Next up, Marvel Studios Ironheart as Regan Aaliyah to the cast of Disney Plus MCU series. Deadline reports that Regan Aaliyah, star of Exo Kitty, is joining Marvel Disney's series in an undisclosed role. Aaliyah commented on the news on Twitter, writing, "I wish I had a proper thing to say about this, but I'm still freaking out about it. Manifesting is a wild thing, isn't it?" Quote end quote. This is interesting. Like it's gonna be very heavily black casted on this, and I gotta tell you, like I am 100% here for it. Like having like this cast attached to it, having like all like the new faces attached to it, like you can't beat this, man. It's a good feeling. It's a good vibe, and like that, I feel like the story, all the stories we got from the MCU may not be well received by many, but it has been received by those like that the MCU is looking for. Like the folks at the MCU are looking to grab and put butts in seats for, and like it's working. She-Hulk is working. Miss Marvel, it worked. Moon Knight, it worked. Like all these different characters that like they're trying to put out there for people to see themselves in, to understand, to grapple like with like not only the power but the superhero them. It's working. It's working on multiple levels, and like people are really getting into it. Like, and I gotta tell you, I'm here for it. Next up in TV news, NBC shares a new poster from Quantum Leap revival series. It turns out, like in the original series, the original character continue leaping. Sam, he continued leaping. Like the end of the series, like he never got home. He just kept leaping to different lives to repair history and time as is. And this story is a continuation of that story. It's not like exactly a reboot. It's a continuation. And like the name of the character is Ben Song. He finds himself on a journey in time, being played by Raymond Lee. And like the cover, this poster looks pretty cool. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Quantum Leap fans out there, if you're big into Quantum Leap and like you're glad that it's coming back, I am here for this. Like to see how this is gonna transition itself, like through like the eyes of a Asian man. Like it's gonna be very very interesting to see. Let's see how this works out. Like, cause like it's gonna, even though like a lot of who watch, like you saw like the racism, you saw like the bigotry, the misogyny, you saw all those things play out in the original series. It's gonna be more uh eccentric in this, and like it being on NBC and or Peacock. I'm really interested to see like how this is gonna play out. I hope it's on NBC so I can watch it on Hulu. But if it's on Peacock, I feel like Peacock is doing a lot of things right now, and I should probably get myself attached to Peacock. Like, there's a show called The Capture, which is a British procedural on Peacock right now. Twisted Metal, it's gonna be on Peacock. Like, Peacock is getting like a lot of different shows. Bel Air season 2 is coming out to Peacock. So I feel like I'm trying to make an excuse to say Peacock right now, but like still, like they got a lot of shows that are coming out, and they are trying to get themselves in the game of the streaming service, and they also got to detach themselves from Hulu because I think that merger with them is ending pretty soon. Or unless like they got like some kind of other deal that's going on with that, I'm not exactly sure how like the deal with Hulu and NBC is working out because like it's right now predominantly Disney based, predominantly. So we'll see how that works out. Next up, Gizmo is set to release in the Multiversus on September 8th, 2022. Multiversus is the Super Smash Bro. Mirror game, whatever you want to call it, like rip off. Some fans would probably call it. It's like exactly like Super Smash Bro, but like it's whole like the Warner Brothers licensed characters like Scooby Doo, Batman, Black Adam, and now Gizmo. Like we just saw one of the other, I think Stripe, one of like the evil Mogwais, a part of that, and then we're getting Gizmo attached to this whole property. So he's gonna be one of these accessory characters. I think that what they call he's a class character. Gizmo is a class character in Multiversus. He's a support. This makes him the third support character in the game. I'm not sure what the other two support characters are, but like it's one of those characters you can just grab and add to like the game and like and use them however you see fit. Um, and last in news, Batman Aztec has a voice cast. Like the synopsis that I chose for this is the version of Bruce Wayne Batman comes in form of Yuhali, a motherless Aztec youth whose father, also village leader Talokozin, is killed by Spaniard conquistadors Herman Cortez. Yahuli will be voiced by Mexican actor Horatio Garcia Reyes. To prepare for the battle, the conservative priest Yaku asks the guidance from the god Hapusilokochi. However, the answer he gets drives him to madness after certain god demands human sacrifices, giving birth to the Joker. His voice is by Mexican comedian Omar Chaparro. If I butcher that, I do apologize. Like I got a distraction. My kids are getting into whatever they're getting into in the other room, so apologies for that. But yeah, this is Batman Azteca. This is something, man. Like I'm ready to see a trailer for this. Like I'm gonna have to put on my subtitle glasses to watch this, but I'm here for it. Absolutely, because I think it's gonna all be like in Espanol. But yeah, like who would be into this? You gotta be like if you're not a Batman fan and you're not into this, something's going on with you. You need to fix yourself because this looks pretty damn awesome. But we're gonna take a little break. Come right back. Talk about like the comic books and the TV shows you guys should be watching. We'll be right back.
What's going on, guys? My name is Nemo, and you probably know me as Who is Nemo on TikTok. And I just want to take some time out today to talk about a very special podcast. Now, that podcast is FTO Nerd Talks. Now, FTO is a podcast that gives you daily updates on all things pop culture. So, if you're into anime, manga, comic books, TV shows, movies, and all that good stuff, FTO is the podcast for you. Now, I know what you're all thinking. There are so many podcasts out there that already do the same thing, and I'm about to tell you why FTO is so special. Now, FTO is so special because they emphasize on Black nerd culture. Not only that, if you like to be interactive with your favorite content creators, FTO is the special podcast for you. Now, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to state your opinion about a certain project, they will engage with you. So if you haven't already, please go follow FTO Nerd Talks on all social media platforms. And if you haven't already, please do me a favor, follow them on Apple Music and Spotify so you don't miss out on their weekly podcasts. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
And we are back. This is that was a cool break. I actually took like an actual break this time. Like I actually it's like 20 minutes. I started walking around the house and just like started getting into stuff, and then I came back to this. Cause usually I'll play like I'll play the promo, and then I'll get right back to the show. So this felt great. All right, this is it. This is the fun part. Things to check out. Tar. Set in the instrumental world of classical music, Tar examines the changing nature of power and its impact and durability in our modern world through the life of iconic musician Lydia Tar, played by Cate Blanchett, the first ever female chief conductor of a major Germany orchestra. Now, this seems interesting. Simply because it's different, it's new, it's fresh, and it's about classical music, so it's gonna be a very art house kind of feel to it. But I'm here to watch this definitely. Honk for Jesus, Save Your Souls. As the proud First Lady of Southern Baptist Megachurch, Trinity Childs, played by Regina Hall, carries the immense responsibility on her shoulders. Her church wandered to greater paths, once served a congregation in the tens of thousands, but after a scandal involving her husband, Pastor Lee Curtis Childs, played by Sterling K. Brown, forced the church to close temporarily. Trinity is struggling to manage the aftermath. Now Trinity and Lee Curtis must rebuild their congregation and reconcile their faith by all means necessary to make the biggest comeback that commodified religion has ever seen. Now, this is a movie. At first, that was a television show, but this is a movie, and Twitter has been blowing this up. Yeah, apparently it's a hardcore comedy. It's very funny. It's I hear it's wacky. Sterling K. Brown gets very shirtless in this, and the women are here for it. So. Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. It's out now. I think it's on Peacock, actually, of all places. Next up, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I have not watched this yet. The series is set several millennia before the J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, when the Rings of Power were forged by Sauron. So this is that origin story we all talked about many of time, how we wanted to see that. This is that. This is that whole thing. So we finally get to see that origin story of the rings being made, of who they were given to, Sauron creating them. We get to see all that, and that's something I am definitely here for. All right, and next up we have Pantheon. Bully Team Maddie, voiced by Katie Chang, gets help online from her recently deceased father, voiced by Daniel Day Kim, whose consciousness has been uploaded to the cloud after an experimental brain scan in this animated sci-fi series based on short stories by Ken Lau. That sounds insane as hell, but super cool at the same time. So like, she gets mentored by her father's subconscious that's in the cloud. That's wow. So now I want to watch this. Like I picked this simply because like it looked interesting, but like after hearing that synopsis, I am and Daniel Day Kim's in it too. 100%, 100% in. Immortality on the PC. Marissa Marcel plays a film star. She made 3 movies, but none of those movies were ever released. And Marissa Marcel disappeared. An interactive trilogy from Sam Bravo, creator of Her Story. I have not checked out this game. I feel like I need to talk about it more on Cheesy Controller and just to get like a little bit more in depth, find some more information about it. So if you guys listen to Table Cheese, not Cheesy Controller, make sure like you tune in if you want to hear more about this game. I want to check this out. This seems like a very interesting. That synopsis is really wow. JoJo Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R for the PS5. The title is based on the All-Star Battle fighting system that was released in 2012. The game is designed with JoJo Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R renovates the experience with adjustments to the fighting tempo and additions of hit stop and jump dashes. It's just a very traditional fighting game, it seems like. But it looks nice. It does look good. I will say that. Women Talking. In 2010, the women of an isolated religious community grapple with reconciling their reality with their faith, based on a novel by Miriam Toews. I picked this because it seemed interesting. It was like highly rated on Metacritic, so I feel like it would be the best option to go with. So that's why I picked this one here. It just seemed like the best possible choice to go for. All right, let's do something a little bit different. This is comic books to read. Let's get into it. First off, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth, issue number 4. Spitting out of the pages of The Flash, the heroes have learned the secrets of Pariah's new world. But at what cost does this knowledge come? And what can they do to even with this information? Or even worse, perhaps Pariah and the Great Darkness want them to know. On Earth Zero, Deathstroke continues to move forward with his plans to erase legacy heroics once and for all, while Jonathan Kent, Nightwing, and a ragtag group of youngsters rally to step up to increase numbers of challenges. The event of the year rages on. Dark Crisis, in many ways, a direct sequel to the original Crisis on Infinite Earth by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. In this issue, Pariah attempts to restore the infinite multiverse reach to a breaking point. TMMT, issue number 132, as the TMMT continues to train under the tutelage of the Shredder in Northampton, the techniques they are learning take a bizarrely arcane turn, while Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, and Janica learn how to master and control the dark ninja arts, or will they be consumed? One thing's for certain, if they are to have any chance of success, they would need to seek out a light from the past to help them guide their way. Twig, issue number 5, the conclusion of the Dark Fantasy Adventure series from Eisner Award-winning writer Scotty Young from I Hate Fairyland and Middle West, and artist Kyle Strahan from Spread and Unearthed bring Twig and Splat to the end of their quest. But will they acquire the final piece of the recipe they need to save their world, or will they die trying? The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 46. Will the governor capturing Tyrese persuade Rick to open the prison gates? Spider-Man 2099 Exodus Omega, issue number 1. The final battle for the Celestial Garden begins. Spider-Man versus Norman Osborn. The X-Men versus the Cabal. 2 armies, 2 deadly enemies. And the key to 2099 future is up for grabs. It's a brawl for all. A brave new tomorrow for 2099 starts here. Survival Street, issue number 2. When Weapons Retailers of America, the WRA, declared a right to gun ownership begins at conception and take aim at arming babies, the ABC team is drawn deep in the heart of Texas. Hey kids, can you say outnumbered? Plus, the tragedy of Herbert aka Corporal Punishment. And lastly, Immortal X-Men, issue number 6. Judgment Come, and a quiet council grows suspiciously quiet. An exception. Do you think a man who devoted to the Hellfire cares one jolt? Let's find out. AXE Judgment Day tie-in. And that is your comics to read. This is different than usual. I do like a little rapid fire thing. That Spider-Man 2099 is something I'm really interested in reading. Like, period. Bar none. That is something I'm really interested in reading. Dark Crisis on Infinite Nerves. I'm ready to talk about that in Common Point with Your Nerd. If you guys are interested in listening about that, make sure you keep tuning in to FTO Nerd Talk, FTO Podcast, FTO on YouTube to listen to the Common Point episode. And also that Survival Street. My goodness, that sounds dark. So a lot of comic books to talk about. This has been different than usual. I had to take a couple of breaks. I got to pause myself and moderate myself instead of just going like full blast through one episode. I got to put some edits inside of this. This was different. This is very different. I hope your week is going well. Happy Saturday. I hope you like the edits. I don't know if it's going to be like a constant thing or not, but hey, excuse me, it just might. You never know. So I'm going to continuously try to do different things. Let me know what you guys think. I hope it works out in the end. Until next time, take it easy. Hey guys, D here of FTO Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTO Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.